You do not like winter. You use it to disappear. Cold air burns your lungs tonight. Everyone ran from this freezing night. But you step deeper into it. Because out here, you can breathe. And that should not feel normal.
Your brain reacts differently to cold. Not emotionally, something deeper happens. Cold hits, and something shifts inside you. Your thoughts slow down instantly. The noise stops fighting itself. That is control returning. Your prefrontal cortex activates again. Clarity replaces mental chaos quickly. Cool air reduces internal interference fast. But that is not the real reason. Something else is happening underneath. Your amygdala starts slowing down. Threat signals lose their intensity. Fear does not spike as fast. Panic feels distant for once. And that calm you feel, it feels earned. But it is not. Cold triggers norepinephrine release. Your brain sharpens within minutes. Noise fades into the background. Everything feels manageable again, and your brain remembers that. Not the moment, the relief. So ask yourself something honestly now. If cold feels safe to you, what does warmth actually trigger? What does stimulation do to you? And why do you avoid it? You start noticing small patterns. Bright days feel slightly overwhelming, not unbearable, just too much. Noise starts feeling personal suddenly. You choose silence more often. You do not question it, because it feels right. You feel relief when plans cancel. You never question that feeling. Rain feels comforting for one reason. It gives you permission to disappear. That is not random. Your brain starts tagging environments. Silence equals safety. Stimulation equals potential threat. And that tagging happens silently. High sensitivity brains process more input. Everything hits harder than it should. So your brain adapts automatically. It moves toward quieter environments. Lower input, lower pressure, cold becomes your regulator. But here is the shift. What protects you also starts shaping you. You call this preference. Your brain calls it escape. And once it sets deeply, it starts deciding your life. You start pulling back slowly. You barely notice it happening. Plans feel heavier suddenly. Not impossible, just heavier. So you cancel again. And it makes sense to you. At least it feels like it does. You tell yourself you need space. You tell yourself it feels peaceful. And for a moment, it does. Your body slows down. Your chest feels lighter again. Stress fades a little. Not gone, just quieter. And that is the moment. Your brain locks onto it, not the action, the relief. So next time, it chooses the same thing again. Silence, distance, control, and you do not question it, because it works. Stop for a second. Look at your own pattern. Until something shifts inside you, high energy feels uncomfortable now. Even good moments feel overwhelming. Even happiness feels slightly too loud. Your brain resists intensity now, and that is when it hits you. You are not avoiding noise. You are avoiding exposure. You did not choose silence. Silence chose you first. You stopped showing yourself fully. You became easier to ignore on purpose, because being seen felt dangerous once. You do not hate noise itself. You hate how noise reveals you. You do not avoid people completely. You avoid how they read you. You learn to disappear early. You learned attention is not safe. So you made yourself smaller. And now it feels natural. But something else is happening too. Cold increases introspection heavily. You replay everything long after it ends. You search for meaning in silence, and it feels like clarity. But look closer. Silence amplifies your thoughts. It does not filter them. And if those thoughts turn negative, they grow louder. They stay longer. They feel real. So ask yourself something honestly. Are you finding peace here, or hiding from something deeper? Here is the truth most people miss. This is not weakness. This is adaptation. Your brain learned this early. It found a way to cope. It reduced overload efficiently. That is survival. Most people ignore these signals. They force stimulation constantly. They burn out without knowing why. You did something different. You moved toward control instead. But then something changed. Control became avoidance slowly, and avoidance became identity. You started believing something, that you dislike people naturally, that you hate summer completely, that solitude defines who you are. But those beliefs are incomplete. They came from relief, not truth. Your environment shaped your identity. Your surroundings rewired your perception. So your brain built a story that explains everything, and it feels real. Because it works. But relief is not truth. Relief hides patterns. Here is what actually matters. You do not love winter itself. You love what it removes. Pressure disappears. Noise disappears. Expectations disappear. But something else disappears too. Exposure. And without exposure, growth stops. So the real question changes now. Not why you prefer winter, but what you are avoiding through it. And the answer is uncomfortable. You are avoiding being overwhelmed, but also being understood. Being understood means losing control. You are not avoiding people. You are avoiding being understood. You do not fear people leaving. You fear what they will notice. You were never avoiding noise. You were avoiding exposure. You were never protecting peace. You were protecting your image. Because the real version feels risky. And you do not trust it yet. You built a version of yourself. It feels safer than the real one. You did not become this randomly. You adapted to survive something earlier. Now something shifts inside you. Because now you see it clearly. This is not about seasons. This is about control. So you stop running from it. You start using it instead. Cold becomes your reset, not your hiding place. You begin small changes. You add controlled stimulation daily. Your brain adapts slowly. Tolerance builds over time. And something changes. Intensity stops feeling like a threat. You do not panic as easily because now you understand it, and understanding removes fear. You still use silence, but you do not depend on it. You still seek calm. But you do not hide inside it. You step back into intensity. Not fully, not all at once, but enough. And that changes everything, because this was never about winter. It was always about your wiring. And now, you finally control it. Tomorrow, everything will feel loud again. And you will feel that pull to step back, to disappear. Pause, and ask yourself one thing. What part of you are you hiding?